Keke Palmer, please stop telling us that you like broke men. We already know that you like broke men. You do not have to keep doing interviews and telling us over and over again.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. People are side-eyeing and growing weary of our girl Keke Palmer after clips from our recent interview with Bevy Smith have begun circulating online. The clips have led to a conversation on double standards, and I'm curious to hear what you all think. Let's go ahead, watch the clip, see what the streets are saying, and then I'll give my opinion on the back end.
Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge.
No, I live for Stedman, but you know that Stedman has for many decades been the butt of jokes.
Yeah, because of gender rules.
Yes.
People feel like because she's Oprah Winfrey, who did y'all want her to be with, Barack Obama? That doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, I feel like that's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, but at the same time, I got to still be like... Guys, what's going on here? Why am I... Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. No one cares.
No one cares.
And I frankly don't care if that's who you love, that's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never... Look, my daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that Keke don't need.
Money.
From nobody. Now, if you want to give a little something and get my nails done, something cute,
but
I'm fine with it.
that? But shouldn't they make that effort,
Yeah.
Keke?
But you might still look like Stedman to the world, and that's a great role.
Because
if I was married to, I was with Oprah Winfrey,
Right. You just be sitting up there waiting.
Chilling.
Yeah,
and Stedman, by the way, Stedman's esteemed.
Yeah.
Stedman has a whole career. He's just not Oprah.
Yeah.
So the fact that how dare people compare you to your lover?
Yeah.
I hate that Oprah had to endure that.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that she had to endure that.
It's
and I
true.
hate that Stedman had to endure that. And that's why I said what I said, because you had a good role. You were supposed to be my Stedman.
Yes.
Come on.
He was.
When I played that for my dad said, yeah, because why did he want to be Stedman?
Keke Palmer, please stop telling us that you like broke men. We already know that you like broke men. You do not have to keep doing interviews and telling us over and over again. We don't need that from you. Please go to therapy. Stop comparing yourself to Oprah. You are not Oprah. Stop telling us how you'd rather be with a broke man who treats you well than with a wealthy man when your baby father was broke and abusive. Take us off the group chat.
The reason Keke Palmer doesn't see anything wrong with dating a man she has to take care of is because she's been taking care of her father's household since she was 12 years old. Keke said out of her own mouth that once she became an actress, she was the breadwinner for her family. And I don't think she realizes that this keep-a-bag Palmer thing she has going on is a trauma response. Because why was a 12-year-old out working while her dad was at home? And you can tell by that tearful interview that she was conditioned to believe by her parents that this was her responsibility. Mind you, Keke shared that she went bankrupt by 18 years old. So clearly her parents weren't doing a good job managing her finances. So I'm not shocked by her warped view of relationships with men, but I do think this is a dangerous message to send to women. The majority of men's ego can't handle this large earning disparity she's speaking of. Men often become jealous and even harmful within these dynamics. I mean, she and her own baby's father were a perfect example of this. He tried to humiliate Keke because he was jealous of her. Even Steve Harvey tried to warn her. She was advised to date men within her tax bracket, but clearly she doesn't agree. Ladies out there, do not take this advice. Continue to date men you are equally yoked with financially.
Shout out to Keke Palmer, basically saying that a woman making more than a man ain't the end of the world. She basically just said that as long as the man brings support, peace, security, his check ain't gotta be bigger. Internet don't like that. They want to complain and argue instead of just taking in the message and realizing that love can be, a thing that you grow from and desire, and it doesn't have to be a monetary gain to be in a relationship with somebody. But you already know, man, people had things to say. Let's go ahead and head over to the comment. Demanding every man to be a high earner is the same thing as demanding every woman look like a supermodel. She told no lies. I'm going with who treats me the best. Trying to justify dating someone herself probably should have left under a bridge is why people need to stop listening to dating advice on podcasts. Stedman is a CEO for a lucrative management marketing firm and made way more money than Oprah during the period of their relationship. Do not sleep on Stedman. So, in conclusion, what's really important? Is it the money or the man's mindset? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow. If you see things like this, don't forget to tag me, OTR Blog Z. Thank you, God.
That's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, and then, but at the same time, I got to still be like, guys, what's going on here? Why am I? Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. No one cares.
No one
cares. And I frankly don't care if that's who you love. That's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never look. My daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that Keke don't need:
money.
From nobody. Now, if you want to give a little something and get my nails done, something cute,
but
I'm fine with it. How dare people compare you to your lover?
Yeah.
No, Keke. The problem is not that people expect that successful women end up with men who are just as successful as they are, because success is relative. That's not the issue here. I think that it would be unrealistic to expect women of a certain fame, success, wealth, status to end up with men on that same level. What will be wise for successful women to do is for them to end up with men who have their own identity, career, their own money, and are secure in their own masculinity. Because if you are willing as a woman within a patriarchal system to bend the rules and expectations, and you don't mind providing and being the sole provider and being the one with the money, you should end up with a man that has the emotional intelligence to recognize that he cannot expect a normal average relationship with you. He should also be ready to bend the rules and bend and twist and change his expectations of you. That is what a lot of you successful women are missing. You're like, no, you're going in blindly. You're not recognizing that we live in a patriarchal system and there are rules. For you to end up with a man that makes less than you, that you have more fame, more clout, more success, you need a man that is emotionally intelligent, that will not move in ways, speak, act, be tweeting in ways that embarrasses you and everything that you've built. You need a man that recognizes your value, your worth, your success. That thing that we all see in you that makes you you and gives you your fame and success, he's got to be able to see it too and be emotionally intelligent enough to move in ways that doesn't embarrass you and everything that you built. A man that is coming for a woman like you cannot have the same expectations he has of an average woman. These men are coming out here dating women in the entertainment industry, women who act, women who have to be a certain way, women who have to dress, women who eat from their image, and they're having these patriarchal, misogynistic expectations of you. That is the problem. It's like Tiwa Savage. At a point in time, Tiwa Savage was the biggest female artist in Africa. Her husband came on the internet complaining that Tiwa Savage does not cook for him. He doesn't remember the last time Tiwa Savage cooked a meal for him. If you know you wanted fresh meals cooked for you every evening, why did you not go and end up with Amaka from the village that has no goals, no dreams, no prospects, no education, no success? Do you know that there are a lot of women that just want to stay at home and cook meals for their men and birth babies and just take care of babies? Do you know there are women like that? The problem is that as a man, when you decide to go for a woman that is above average, a woman that earns enough or more than you, a woman that doesn't need you financially, a woman that doesn't have traditional expectations of you, a woman that has a thriving career that needs her moving up and down, a woman that needs to be in Miami tomorrow and has to be in London the next day, a woman that lives practically in the air. You people are going for men that have average expectations of you when you are above average women. That is the problem. Like the Slumflower says, you should not like love, sex, the aesthetics of a family, the idea of being loved more than you value your autonomy, your dignity, and your self-respect. The problem is that a lot of you successful women want love so bad. You don't care how your dating choices reflect poorly on everything that you've built. You don't care how your dating choices reflect poorly on you and does not manifest and is not in line with who people see you to be and the brand that you've built about yourself. When Keke Palmers' baby daddy came on the internet and he allowed misogynistic red pill content to get to him, and he used his platform to embarrass Keke Palmer by openly questioning her mothering abilities and parenting abilities and choices, everybody came out and said, hey, this sounds like an abusive person. A guy that is dating somebody like you should not be moving like this. A man that is with a woman like you should not be embarrassing you like this. He should know who you are. He should know you're an entertainer. He should know Asha is your colleague. He should know that you eat from your personality. If he has an issue with your personality, he should kick it to the curb. You should go and find a woman with no personality, a woman that just wants to stay at home. 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, we see Keke Palmer chilling at a Beyonce concert with a baby daddy, making all of us look like fools. And then what happened after that? Shortly after that, Keke Palmer now files a restraining order, now coming out with the fact that their relationship has been abusive from the get-go. And you people had been dating over a year. So you see, the issue is not that people don't like the fact that you end up with men who don't make as much as you do. That's not the problem. The problem is that you people are going for men that don't have anything going for them. You're going for men that have nothing to lose. And so it will be very easy for them to make you lose everything that you've built. If you don't know your value and your worth, these men will determine that for you. So the issue is not that successful women shouldn't date men who are beneath them or men who make less than them. That is not the issue here. At any point in time, whoever you're going to pick is somebody that is secure in themselves, somebody that is proud of themselves, who they are and what they do, and somebody with emotional intelligence that doesn't move in ways that embarrasses you. And 3, if you are a public figure, make sure that you are with a man that knows and recognizes that. That's it. Because with all your success, your fame, all the public good that you girls have, you are going for men who think that they are the prize and have to be worshipped. That is the problem.
So, per usual, people are being willfully obtuse and using clips to air their grievances on a celeb they don't like. I think this was a very interesting clip, and I don't think this was Keke saying she wants to be able to get a hobo off from under a bridge in peace. I think she just wanted to shed some light on the double standards that exist between men and women at all economic levels. I think she's absolutely right that women of status find themselves in a peculiar situation in the dating market. Yes, we would like to believe that once these women reach a certain tax bracket, they have access to all kinds of high-value men. But how many of these men are actually looking for their financial equal? And how many are chopping at the bit to date a woman whose income blows them out of the water? Yeah, not many. So in Oprah's case, what provider man was she going to come across that was going to sweep her off her feet and bankroll her lifestyle? I mean, she's a billionaire. And although Stedman was esteemed, he was still clowned for decades over their relationship. If they were to be an it couple today, the girlies would be saying that Oprah is just settling, the same way they're doing with Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, all because he isn't at her level career-wise. I mean, A$AP is a well-established millionaire, made history as the first black male face of Dior, has multiple brand endorsements, and has his own liquor brand, yet there are still people saying she's dating down. So where do we draw the line? Forget the fact that he seems to make her happy and loves her very much and their children very much and has supported all her career endeavors since day one. They're just hung up on the fact that she's a billionaire and he's just a millionaire, as if that's something to sneeze at. Meanwhile, the male celebs are finding girls off of IG, knocking them up and giving them the world, and hardly ever dragged for it, to Keke's point. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's smart for anyone of means to get involved with someone with nothing to lose, because that's just bad business, but it happens every day. Double standards are a thing though, and some exist for a reason. Women are much more at risk dating well below their means and even well above their means in today's day and age. I mean, look at Britney Spears. K-Fed not only took her kids away and aided in her conservatorship, he took her to the cleaners financially for 20 years. Millions of dollars and so much time lost with her boys that she'll never get back, all because she chose wrong. Now, I will say, Keke hasn't had the best dating track record, but it doesn't make what she says any less true. It's really not right to compare lovers in such a way, especially when they are happy and are good to each other. We don't all have to do things the same exact way. There's more to partnership than money, and there's a lot of room between finding a billionaire and settling for a man off the bus stop. Please, let's be for real here. If you don't like Keke Palmer, just say so. No need to twist her words. Let me know what you all thought of this clip. Do you think she made a point, or is she just looking for permission to date bro? Like and comment if you enjoyed this content, and I'll be back with another What Took TikTok real soon. Bye.